Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, some cruise passengers went panicking, running back to the cruise ship as a polar bear started heading towards an entire group of cruise passengers. We also had stories for the Carnival Spirit people sailing in Alaska because they got a story to tell. That's right, they hit an iceberg. And how many ships can say that? But so they have a little bit of a story. Also, Galveston, Texas is talking about possibly their next ship they're going to get there, and it's a big one. And now we also want to talk about the Germany company, the building company, Werft. I think that's how you pronounce it, WERFT. Well, they've been in financial trouble for a while, and the German government has come into rescue. Well, some people are saying it's the German government rescuing, and in reality, I think it's Disney that came to the rescue. So in a story that people will get to tell for a while, the Carnival Spirit was sailing in Tracy Arm Fjord in Alaska, and that's right, it struck an iceberg. A fair-sized iceberg by the looks of it. It looks probably, if you look underneath the ground, underneath the water I should say, it's probably about the size of two tenders together. So a fair-size iceberg. No damage was done by the ships. The ship carried on as normal. It wasn't going at a breakneck speed, of course, in the fjords. It has to maintain a very slow speed. So it sort of just glanced off the hull of the ship. It happens all the time, especially we had it happen to us out in Norway, where we would hit chunks of ice. Nothing the size of this one, however. Yeah, a story to tell as you get back from your Alaska trip saying, hey, yeah, we went to Alaska and we hit an iceberg. How many people can say that? Speaking of some scary situations, though, we did have the area up in the side of Greenland, which is Ellesmere Island. Well, they were at one of the fjords. A TUI Expedition cruise ship had about 70 passengers and about 12 to 17 crew members had gone ashore on Zodiacs and were visiting the shoreline and looking for animal life, walruses, etc. that are around. Well, suddenly a polar bear was spotted in the water heading towards the passengers from the cruise ship side. And the good thing is they always have what's called local polar bear watchers. And they hire the local natives to station themselves around the passengers who are getting off the ship. And this way they can spot any potential danger from the polar bear. Now, the polar bear did start heading towards them. It's not known if it was going to attack or if it was just curious, but they took no chances and immediately evacuated everybody from the shore and got them back on the ship, and actually had to fire a pistol about 5 times in the air in order to scare the polar bear from keep coming towards the land. They don't carry a lot of firearms around, but in these dangerous situations where possible run into a dangerous predator, they do carry firearms by the natives, etc., the watchers. So a little bit of a story to tell there, as well as, yeah, they were chased back. And it did cause a little bit of panic from some of the passengers when they saw the polar bear heading towards them. And I can only imagine, as it's one of the apex predators in the world, in a scary situation, and are known to be sometimes very aggressive if they are hungry and startled. So there you go. So another story to be warning of. Makes me think twice about going to Africa next year, but hey, I'm still going to do it. So there we are. Next, we also have Texas. And Texas has been dropping some hints lately that when they were asked about a month ago about, hey, what ships could come here? How about something the size of the Icon of the Seas? And the director of the port said, oh yeah, we can handle the Icon of the Seas if she comes here. And now it's been spotted, maybe by mistake, maybe by not, but there were some parking for the cruise ships in the future that were listed, and the Icon was on there. So many people are speculating that perhaps the Icon is going to be coming to Galveston, Texas at one point. Perhaps once the Star of the Seas launches, or even perhaps when the next Icon comes out after that. An exciting news for Galveston to get possibly a version of the largest cruise ship in the world sailing out of Galveston. Carnival Cruise Line now has also now changed, I believe it's now 8 different ships over 25, 26 seasons and about 15 different itineraries. So you're going to have to keep an eye on your cruise if you're sailing on Carnival. This is not unheard of as companies tweak itineraries, change ports. Oh, that port's going to be too busy, so let's move that ship over here and let's move this ship to a different day. It can be as simple as we're going to leave a half hour earlier from the port to we're changing the itinerary completely. It can be anything. So, but they've changed over 15 itineraries on 8 different ships. So keep an eye if you're sailing Carnival, and keep an eye on what your itineraries are going to be. It makes a difference if you're booking outside shore excursions, especially, and you're paying for them, and then all of a sudden you find out, hey, we're not even going to that destination anymore. What am I going to do? So please keep an eye out for those kind of things. And finally, I have the story about the cruise ship company that is building some ships, and it was in financial trouble. But quickly, before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. You want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, from the fun stories to the startling stories, to your ships changing itineraries, to the new ships possibly coming to your hometown and new cruise port, to just some fun news about cruising and the things you should know for your next cruise. I hope to keep you as best informed I can. Really doesn't cost anything, but it really helps the channel out when you hit that button, and I really do appreciate it. All right, let's talk about Meerwerf. I think that's how you pronounce it. It's a German-based company for building cruise ships and other ships, and they have been in some financial troubles. Well, the German government has now stepped in, and they are buying a 40% stake in the company. And the state that's already there already has a 40% stake in the company, making government money into there about 80%. And then the banks are responsible for 20%. And this includes debt that they owe, etc. And they've hammered out this deal. It looks like it's all going to go forward and sign in the companies. The jobs are going to maintain and everything. But one of the big reasons I think this is also going forward is that the new contract they signed. They are the ones who have signed the contract for the next 4 Disney cruise ships being built. And then when Disney just announced 4 more ships, they're also building them. So they've got an 8-ship contract now with the Disney company. I'm sure that reassured the government, the banks, etc., that hey, they got a contract, the money's going to be coming in, we're going to get our money back, let's go ahead and hammer out this deal. So in this case, the mouse has come to the rescue of the German builders. Not bad news. Today was a pretty good news story, I think. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel vlogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Until next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.